sure you will. So let's welcome Charley.
Wait a minute, Charley. I got.
But wait, there's more? Okay.
So this morning, our special feature is Love in Action. And normally you would get Miss Mary Curley, who's cute and funny up here, but you're stuck with me. So I wanted to invite anyone who might be interested in doing the service that Zita is doing today, who we call our service leader. They do the announcements and the daily word and assorted things up here on the Sunday morning. That we're going to be having a training at the end of the month. This is going to be on January 29th, and it'll be right after service about 12:30, and it'll only last about 30 minutes, but we'll go through talking about the script and how we do this. So I would love to invite anyone that's interested in doing that. Melody continues to look for people that would love to work with the children, and you have a really special opportunity this week. Myra and Nora are starting to take the lights down tomorrow. So if you have monkey-like tendencies and would love to come help with getting lights down, we would love to see you, and you can call or email Myra and get the exact times. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Wait, there's more. So it's funny you mentioned monkey-like tendencies. If you have monkey-like tendencies, I'd love you to sing on this next song. We had a little gathering out at Serenity Farm yesterday, and we did this song, and I'd forgotten I'd chosen it for today as well. So this is called Feet on the Ground, and it's really about just grounding what we're learning. You know, sometimes for me it feels like these principles might be a little bit woo-woo up there. Can I really incorporate it into my life? So we're going to put our feet on the ground in these principles, and remember it's really just about connection all with each other. So could I get you to stand up, put your feet on the ground? And the words, these are all the words you need, is be in my heart and have connection. And you put your feet on the ground. That's the whole thing. So first, let me get you to rock to your right and clap. Your left, clap. To your right, left. Just keep that going. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Sing that. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart again. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Okay, that was part one. Here comes part two. So we're singing about connection, right? So would you just find a partner, keep clapping, just face somebody, and we'll go through it again, okay? I'll give you a second. Find somebody to sing with. Here we go. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Thank you.
Woo! Put your feet on the ground. Are you connected? All right, all right. My goodness. Well, hold on here. Make sure, we have a wonderful script here. So, and part of that wonderful script is the transformational opportunities. Yes. Today, we have a wonderful workshop following the service that Charley is going to give, and it's called The Heart of a Course in Miracles. Now, it starts at 1 p.m., and we do hope that you will join us after fellowship coffee. And throughout the week, we have the usual online study groups, community meditation on Tuesday evenings here in the sanctuary. And on Wednesdays, we have chair yoga at 11 a.m. and midweek meditation at noon, followed by a potluck lunch in the New Rock Hall. On Friday, this Friday, it's movie night, and Dan will be showing the Celestine prophecy, both in person and on Zoom. We look forward to that. Next Sunday, we have 2 opportunities for you. Our What is Unity class starts at 12:45. If you're interested in becoming a member or want to learn more about Unity, plan to join us. Reverend Patty will be leading the class. We also have our first board information session with Howard Green. Howard? Yes, Howard Green. And this is an opportunity for you to learn more about what is entailed to become a board member, and that starts at 12:45 as well. The following week, we have 2 great classes starting. Critical Conversations start January the 19th with Jody Smith and Reverend Cheryl Fair. The class is eligible for SEE credits. Then, starting on Sunday, January the 22nd, Aranda Young will lead Mary Morrissey's Prosperity Plus 2 class. And for those of you considering board opportunities, this class meets, a prosperity class is required for becoming a board member. And it's a wonderful opportunity to continue your growth and learning all about unity. So, be sure to sign up for these classes on the clipboard. There is a clipboard outside in the hallway. You may also keep up with activities and opportunities by visiting our website, subscribe to the weekly e-news, and follow us on Facebook or Instagram. So, it is now time for the Daily Word. Yes, and the Daily Word is a special message from Unity, and it's available in digital format or hard copy in our bookstore, and it is published by Unity headquarters. And the word for today is freedom. That resonates very well, doesn't it? At times, I may feel hemmed in by circumstances, limited by lack of opportunity, or faced with an unwelcome situation and no good choice. When that happens, I may feel anything but free. How many can identify with that? Yeah. Rather than despair, I find my freedom in God and in the limitless expression of my own divinity. Sifting my perspective from the limits of the world to the expanse and perfection of spirit places me and gives me peace. I relax and remember that no earthly trouble is greater or more enduring than God. I claim the power of God and feel a strength beyond mere human strength has. Moment by moment, I release limited beliefs and reclaim the power that I had given to my problems. Spirit lives in me, and I in spirit. This truth is my freedom. Our scripture for today comes from 2 Corinthians 3:17. Now the Lord is my strength, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And our affirmation, I'm going to repeat it one and invite you to repeat with me twice. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. The divine presence in me guides me to freedom. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. And now we have our opening prayer.
So good morning, I'm Reverend Thweatt. Good morning, I'm Reverend Patty. So great to see each smiling face in here. So we always have an opening joke before we have an opening prayer to loosen us up a little bit. So one of our members who isn't here today sent me a joke, and I get on my knees and thank God every time because these things are hard to come by. So here's our joke. Hello, welcome to Flight 2023. We are prepared to take off into the new year. Please make sure your attitude and blessings are secured and locked in an upright position. All self-destructive devices should be turned off at this time. All negativity, hurt, and discouragement should be put away. Should we lose altitude under pressure during the flight, reach up and pull down a prayer. Prayers will automatically be activated by faith. Once your faith is activated, you can assist other passengers. There will be no baggage allowed on this flight. The captain, God, has cleared us for takeoff, destination greatness. So that's thanks to Stephanie and Aaron. And I have one thing to say in welcome to Charley and in welcoming you to great spiritual practices. So it was about 5 years ago when he was here and I was doing something up here. And so I said, well, I was introducing Charley and I said, well, he doesn't know this, but he and I went to bed every night for quite a while because I had his chant CD and I would play it every night as I was going to sleep. So his wife won't be upset. As many people in here as want to go to bed with Charley singing to them. His CDs and his digital thing is out there and very affordable. So I invite you to have some amazing music to sleep to. Okay, so let's take a wonderful breath. Just get present. Another deep breath and exhale. We just allow ourselves to feel that power of peace, that power of love that is the truth of our being. We take another breath and just allow ourselves to be aware we are right here, right now, in this holy instant, in this holy moment. And we bring into this moment the amazing gifts and power of the Christ. We bring joy, we bring love, we bring faith, we bring imagination. And we hold for our world a place where every human being is honored and respected. We hold for our world abundance, that no child, no person goes to sleep at night hungry. No person feels fear or fears for their safety. But we see a world transformed by the power of love that is in each one of our hearts. And into this loving space that we are creating right now, we bring all those whose names are in our prayer box. all the wonderful letters to God that are in there. And we bring these members of our community who are either in need of healing or some other fashion of thing. Renate, Linda, Corey, Sharon, Frank and Joanne, Nathan, Glenda, Anne. And we have two families that are in the midst of grieving. Mike and Mo had a beloved niece pass 2 nights ago. And Bernard, who is here, he'll be happy to receive some hugs after service. They are taking his dad to Quantico tomorrow for burial, so that whole family has been grieving. So we hold all of these family members. We hold all of these individuals in that energizing, amazing power of the Christ, where the light of Christ fills every cell of their body, fills their consciousness. And where there is any anxiety, we see the peace that passes understanding. And now if we have anyone in our own sphere of friends for which we have concerns or joys, we bring them into this loving center. And if you would like to say their names out loud or silently, we bring them in and imagine the light of Christ filling each one of them. We bring our Mother Earth. We bring political leaders. We bring those who are depressed and feeling hopeless. We bring them into the power of this love. We are so grateful. This simple medicine of the love that sources each one of us is available at any moment. So we take one more breath in. We breathe in love, and we breathe out love. And we allow appreciation to fill us that we are indeed in a new year full of limited possibilities. And we close with our usual 3 sentences of I am grateful. Please join with me. I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Now I'm going to invite Susan up to share one more wonderful opportunity for service here.
Good morning. I am here to tell you the best possible way to be in your heart and be connected, and that is to become a Unity of Bon Air prayer chaplain. The Unity Bon Air prayer chaplain New Year starts in May, which means that right now we're opening up opportunities for any of you who may be interested in doing that to come and talk to me. I have a flyer of information for you. You can take with you, look through it. We can talk some more. And we have training that's starting up soon, and then we start our new year in May. I can tell you that it was in 2005 when I was sitting in the service, and Howard and I had not been at Unity for very long at all, and the announcement was, come to prayer chaplain training. And I left there that day with this tugging on my heart that made absolutely no sense to my head. And my head kept trying to talk me out of it, but my heart said, do it. And I hadn't prayed with a soul up to that point in my life. And now I've been doing it for 18 years at Unity of Bon Air. We're starting, thank you. We're starting the 19th year that we've had this ministry here, and I would just like to quickly ask anyone here who is a chaplain or has been a chaplain to stand up, because I know there are several here. If it sounds scary, it's not. what I call prayer in unity is really just reminding people of things. It's reminding people of their powerful divine nature. It's reminding people you've got this because God's got your back. It's reminding people that we are creative and letting them know how powerful they are to create what they want. And that's what we do. We just give reminders. And that's how we pray in unity. I would like to say to you that praying with others, for me at least, has been an amazing experience and a spiritual journey. To have someone trust you to come to you to share their human condition, whatever it is at the time, whether it's a challenge or a celebration, and ask you to support them in that is a humbling experience, but it's also a huge growth experience. And we say in Prayer Chaplain World that whatever prayer we share with others, we get that carbon copy right back. So we pray for ourselves as well. So I would love for you to stay in that heart space. If when I started talking about it, something said, oh, don't let your head talk you out of it. At least come and see me. I'll be here after the service and can share this information with you. So please think about it down here. Okay, now I'm going to segue into leading us into our statement of truth. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the omnipotent good.
Susan, that was beautiful, just what you shared, just what it is. Really felt it. Well, we're going to use this song to go into a time of meditation, and the words are very simple. Be still and know, I am God. So it's just a reminder to go into the stillness, to find that I am presence in that. So let's let our eyes close, and it's a simple chant. You can add your voice when you're ready. Let's take a deep breath in together. In. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Please join me. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Sing a harmony if you want to. Be still and know I am God. 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 Be still and know I still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. We'll just sing ourselves into the silence. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know the I am. Be still and know I am God. It's a reminder to stop every now and then, to go to that still point at our center. Be still and know. Be still and know. And we find that place of peace that was always there. That place of stillness that was always there. It's just our job to come back home. Come back home to stillness, to presence, to the I am. Be still and know. And then when we enter our worldly existence, we can bring that presence to every moment. We can see everything in our lives from that stillness, that presence, that I am self. Be still and know. Let that be your motto for life. When things come up, be still and know. It's like coming back home. Be still and know I am God. Storms will come and storms will go. It's not always fun, but then you'll know how to be free and let life prove you only are free when you let things move. Storms will come and storms will go. Just stand in the wind and let things blow. Blow you away and cleanse your soul. You're willing to say what you can't control, and then you fly on the wind, and then you soar into your beginning, and then you sail on the wind, and then you dive into your beginning. Into your beginning. Storms will come and storms will go. It's not always fun, but then you'll know how to be free and let life prove you only are free when you let things move. And then you fly on the wind, and then you soar into your beginning, and then you sail on the wind, and then you dive into your beginning. Into your beginning. Into your beginning. Into your beginning. Storms will come. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess I'll move this. We'll go on to this guy. I love that you did a joke. I remember, I forgot. Reverend Joyce would always do a joke. She always had some piece of paper she was reading and bring a little lightness. I have a joke for you. So here we go. You get a twofer today. This is about two old codgers driving down the road, like Main Street in some little town. Can I see a show of hands of all the old codgers in the audience? So it's Dave is driving and Paul is in the passenger seat. And they're just driving along, going to lunch or something. And they go on a few blocks, and then at some point, Paul says, "Wait a second, did Dave just run a red light?" Well, I wasn't paying that much attention. Maybe I'm just imagining it, and I should keep an eye on that. And sure enough, 2 blocks later, Dave runs through a second red light, and Paul says, "Well, my gosh, if he does it again, I think I need to say something." And sure enough, Paul runs through a third red light. Finally, Dave says, "Hey, Paul, you know you've just run through 3 red lights?" And Dave says, "I'm driving?" So, my talk today is about paying attention. It's about being awake in your adventure. And the title of the talk, The Bows of Our Boats. Like being on the bow of the boat, the bows of our boats. And the title comes out of something that happened to me a few years ago. A dear friend of mine, she has an unusual name, it's Tana, like Montana. And so Tana is someone that I knew for 33 years. We raised our kids together. My son and her daughter knew each other from 6 months old, and they're still good friends. They actually work together. They're 34 years old now. And so they've kept that bond. And so she was like family, like a sister. One of the funniest, most creative, fantastic people. However, she could never quite get her life together. It seems like it never quite worked. You ever know that brilliant people, it's like somehow they just can't put it together. And then she came down with cancer and kind of got through it, got, in remission, then it came back a second time, got through that, went into remission, came back a third time, and this time the doctor said, I'm sorry, there's no way out. This is going to be it for your life on earth here. And that probably wasn't his words, but and so it was sad, and I went to visit her, and she had gotten thinner in the process. I went to drop in and spend time for a long afternoon. I didn't live as close to her at that point. But what I noticed was that during her entire life, it felt like she was always carrying this burden of that she hadn't made it, she didn't really succeed, she never really got things done. She looked the freest that she had ever looked. She looked the best she'd ever looked, the happiest. And I thought, what's going on here? And I realized that it seems that she didn't feel like she had to do it anymore. She didn't have to achieve it for somebody else, for herself, or anything. Like she had set down her burden. And she was the happiest I'd ever seen her. And it made me wonder about us. Do we have to be on death's door to finally set down our burdens and be happy? Are there ways that I'm carrying a weight that couldn't I just drop it? And just be in life, be in this present moment, be in this adventure. And about 8 weeks later, after that visit, I got the call that she had passed. And I was lying in bed with Heidi, with my wife, just looking at Heidi's eyes. And Tana had passed about 5 in the afternoon, and so it was bedtime. Obviously this was on my mind and in my thoughts. And in that presence and connecting in my wife's eyes, I started to see this image of like the bow of the boat, like just cutting through the water. You know how it's like on a glassy lake, you just kind of see that little bow wake that just pushes. And to me, that was representing this moment in time that's always cutting through the water. Each moment that we're alive, we're just kind of right at that cutting edge is how another image you might use as a metaphor for the moment, the present moment. And then I was hearing these words, we are the bows of our boats, the leading edge of our venture. And Heidi said, what's going on? What are you thinking about? And I said, I'm hearing these words. And she said, well, you want to go write them down? I said, yeah, I think I need to go in the living room. I'm just going to start writing. And then more words came, more words came. So I just want to read you the words that came that night. Now, before I do this, I want to say, have you ever been to a spiritual retreat or something, and it's talent night, and then someone says, I'm going to read a poem, and you realize that they have 12 pages stapled together, and so it's not that long, is it? Okay. I am the bow of my boat. So maybe put yourself in this position as you listen to these words. I am the bow of my boat, the leading edge of my venture. There's so much down below that I may never see. I think sometimes in the bilge, in the, what do you call the place down below in the boat? The keel. What is it? The keel. Well, the storage area, I forget the word for it, but sometimes we're carrying baggage we're not even aware of. It's kind of like down below the surface, and other people don't see it, maybe we don't see it. There's so much down below that I may never see. I am each moment in time the way I face my future. The one you see in these eyes is not my history. And I think if we can meet each other in that present moment, that we can be totally apart from history, from baggage, from any of it, can we really be with each other right now, and nothing to do with our history? And if you feel some weight, it's holding me together. I think with Tana and maybe with us, sometimes we hold on to our baggage because it's familiar. It's like this is my story. It's something comfortable about it. A ballast, to be sure, for when I hit rough seas. Like we need that weight a little bit. But that's not who I am, or barely who I was ever. So catch me if you can in every breath's release. And again, that's that moment right there. With every breath, catch me here with each breath. And it finishes up, so may you gleam and may you shine and find your place beyond time. You know, our eternal self is beyond time. Can you find that? May you know that sweet line, that line that is you and not you beyond time. I think that's that edge where we live in spirit and in the world. May you know that sweet line that is you and not you beyond time. And maybe that's our whole journey. You know, we're here to remember who we are as spiritual beings and to not get lost in the world. And can I be in the world but not of it? Can I live on that line, my awareness of who you are in each moment, and still have a healthy life in these bodies while we have them? The bows of our boats. Yeah, thank you. So I was just thinking before the talk that the subtitle of this talk should be Awake in Your Adventure. How can we stay awake in our adventure? And I think I love doing that, and sometimes opportunities come up, and what if you say no, there's a whole chapter of experience that maybe you missed. And I want to tell you about one that happened to me. And you know, I fly a lot in my work, and this is about the first time I ever flew to Japan. I was going over to do concerts and workshops, and this was in 1997, so it's been a while. And I got there 2 more times after that, but this is my first time, and I was excited. I've never been to Japan. This will be fun. And I got on the plane as a nonstop San Francisco to Tokyo, and I was on a 747 and the hump on the top. You know how they have the hump at the front of the plane, and it was a coach seat, but it was up there, and it was also like 8 rows behind the cockpits to the cockpit door. Now, growing up as a kid, I had a wonderful experience in my family, which was that we got this map that covered the entire wall from the floor to ceiling, map of the world. And it was a friend of ours in the naval aviator got this for us from the Navy. I don't know if he snuck it out or what, but it was like our wallpaper. And as kids, I was one of 4 kids, and we'd play a game at dinner. Like my parents would ask, can you find Lisbon? Can you find Perth, Australia? And so we'd be learning the world. Just with a fun game. So here I am 2.5 hours out of San Francisco, and all the windows are down because people are sleeping. And I thought, wow, I wonder if we're over the Aleutian Islands right about now. So I kind of went, voot, opened it real quick, and there they were, going off into the distance. Then voot, just to respect people's need for sleep. About 2 seconds later, the female flight attendant came up from Japan Airlines and said, would you like to see that from the cockpit? I said, yes, sure. I mean, we don't do that in our country, but yes, please. And so she went and knocked on the door and turned the key and asked them in Japanese if someone could come in and look from the cockpit and see the Aleutian Islands. They said, yeah, come on in. It's fantastic. And so it's a pretty large cockpit. There are the 2 guys in front, and then kind of in the center behind is a 3rd seat. And it even had the sheepskin on it, and they said, hey, have a seat. And great, thank you. And so here I am. The flight attendant leaves and closes the door, and so we start chatting. And international pilots, they're required to speak English. It became the international language. So they spoke English well enough, and an older guy, younger guy, and so they said, well, first time going to Japan? Yes, it is. And are you on business or pleasure? And I said, well, a little bit of both. And well, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a musician. Oh, what kind of music do you play? Well, it's kind of, I never know how to describe what I play. If anyone would like to tell me what kind of music I play, I'd be spiritual folk pop, I don't know. So I said, well, I don't know what to call it, but my guitar's just outside in the closet. Would you like to hear a song? Sure, bring it in. So a minute later, here I am sitting on the sheepskin with my guitar, And I didn't know what to sing, but I'd just written a song like 2 weeks earlier, so just kind of without thinking, that's the one I started playing. I actually, some of you heard it yesterday, I played it at the piano. It starts out, sometimes I feel like a bird flying over the ocean. So I unconsciously picked a song that entirely described their life, because they do this, they flying back across the ocean back and forth as how they make a living. And at the end of it, I noticed that the younger pilot seemed like mesmerized, and about then I'm thinking, I hope the thing's on autopilot. And he said, wow, I would love my wife to hear that song. Are you doing any concerts in Tokyo? And I said, yes, I am. And so I got his information. I had someone call him and explain where the concert was. And so at that concert that night, I prepared to sing that song, and I had the translator tell the whole story of what happened on the plane. And then the punchline got to be, and on the back row, there's my Japan Airlines pilot and her wife. And they all went, ooh. So what a fun series of events. Now, I've saying that Awake in Your Adventure would be a subtitle for this talk. What if the flight attendant had come up and said, would you like to see that from the cockpit? What if I said, oh, no, that's fine. I don't want to bother you. Do we do that sometimes? We don't want to bother people, or we don't want to take that step, so let's be awake in our adventure for each of those moments where amazing things can happen. When we just step out, we're ready to play. We're ready to be a part of the human family with others. Sometimes we want to hide. I can tell you this, in the history of my life, there's so many times when I almost stayed home. And then when I went, oh, I'm so glad I went to that party. I'm so glad we did that together. You know what I'm talking about? You've done that. Stay awake in our adventure. I used to travel a lot with a wonderful author named Alan Cohen. Does that name ring a bell? He wrote The Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore, a lot of books. There's a fairly recent book he wrote called A Course in Miracles Made Easy, which I don't believe it, but wonderful, heartfelt human being, and we still stay in touch. And one of the books he wrote is called Joy is My Compass. Isn't that a great line? Joy is my compass. What if that were your North Star? Where's your joy? Follow that. What brings you joy? And that will help you stay awake in your adventure if you're actually interested. Sometimes we're stuck in these situations where there's no joy in this. Why am I doing this? We need to ask ourselves to wake up out of that. There's another thing I noticed that, and it points out how awake are we in our lives. I want to call this the pigeonhole effect. So you've seen the old mail rooms with all these rows and rows of pigeonholes. You put your letters in different things. So I've noticed. Have you ever noticed you go to a retreat or you're on a vacation, and you're going to be there for a week, and it's day 2, and you say to someone else I can't believe, is this only the second day? So much has happened. You know that experience? Oh my God, is this only Tuesday? My gosh, this is going to be so full. And I think what's happening is that it's different when it's like that, because we are so awake for so many more of the moments. We're filling all the pigeonholes with experiences. And if you're at home leaving a boring life, there might be a letter there and one there and a bunch of empty space because you weren't awake and experiencing. You weren't present for your moments. You see what I'm saying? So our job is to fill those pigeonholes, to be awake in those moments, to fill them with excitement and things that are worth remembering. The pigeonhole effect. There's a quote from A Course in Miracles, and I'll be leading a Course in Miracles workshop after the service. I hope you'll attend that. It'll be fun with a few songs, a little bit of history and overview, and then I'm also going to get you involved to learn some of the principles that served me, but to embody them rather than just hear me talk about them. So we'll do some activities where you're going to feel what I'm talking about. It's a really beautiful workshop. The quote I want to mention now from A Course in Miracles, and I love this. A sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. A sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. And how do we feel separate from God? It's when we wander off in our minds or our feelings or into the future, into the past, instead of being back on the bow of our boats where life is happening. You can't love in the future. You can't love in the past. The only place love's going to happen is right here. This is where your opportunity is. And that's how you correct that. The sense of separation from God. You can't be with God unless you're present. Otherwise, you're separate. You're off in your mind. You're off in your thoughts. You're off where duality happens instead of that's a place of union. So our job is to live on the bow of our boats, to ride that wave, that bow wave, to stay awake and be available for this adventure called life. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thanks. How are you doing? Thanks so much. I think it's offering time. I'll just stay up here.
In just a minute. So I'm going to invite our ushers to come up, and as they're coming, if you would like to put your offering in your hand and affirm our blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving. And thank you so much, Charlie. What wonderful words to call us to awakeness.
Thank you. Sorry. I'll do that little one. Okay, we're back on this one. So, this song is called Letting It Fly. And it's about jumping into life. You jump in the river. So there'll be, and I love doing this with an echo, so I'll sing a line, then you echo it. Are you ready to sing a little bit? So it goes like, letting it go. You go, letting it go, letting it fly, letting it fly. How can you know if you'll laugh or cry? You jump in the river of life. So now you're a swimmer. It's in your eyes. With your arms open wide, you are shining inside, and you look with the eyes of your soul. It's a choice that you make with each breath that you take, and it's all for the sake of your soul. When you were younger, when you were young, your head in the clouds, did you ever wonder how things would play out? Now that you're older and so much you've done, does it ever feel like you've just begun? With your arms open wide, you are shining inside, and you look with the eyes of your soul. It's a choice that you make with each breath that you take, and it's all for the sake of your soul. Letting it go, letting it fly. You let it fly. Just stay back here. Thank you. I want to do just a brief announcement. So please come to the workshop. You will be blessed. And we do go into that connection that happens right here in the moment. I also want to just mention again that, let's see if I can get this. I do have the CDs, like This Is Letting It Fly, and some other things. One is $15. If you get that one, then everything else is $5 after that of the CDs. And anyone here like to go to Italy with me this year? I'm doing a tour. I'm doing a tour in April, and I have one more room left, so if you want to come talk to me about that, it's almost full. There's a flyer for that. I have another one coming in October, so look at this one. It's a different tour. And there's a little room where we're trying to scare up a few people to go on a shorter one in March, so Gail and I are conspiring. So it could be we'll have a little Bon Air March thing. So lastly, if you want to go digital, you can get a thumb drive. All 18 of my albums for $30. So my infomercial is over. Thank you so much. God bless.
Charlie, stay up here a moment so we can give you our blessing. So the amazing thing is Charlie was here. He was the last guest speaker before COVID hit in March. And he is our first guest artist. I can't say we're over COVID, but we're claiming we're moving.
Let's please say we're over COVID.
So we're so grateful that he has been with us. So let's give him the blessing we give. And then Reverend Joyce used to do a thing where you can yell out a word. That's your experience. So we're going to yell some words at you too.
Okay.
Okay, so Charlie, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things.
Thank you.
Okay, words. Connection and love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right, here come our offerings. So let us bless these. Divine love, we know all that we share comes back to us. And so we send these gifts out into the world to provide joy, peace, hope, encouragement, to make a way in the world for love to grow. So we send all these things out and receive them all back, and we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. And then we've had our chaplain stand up once, but let's do it again in case you would love to have a word with the chaplain at the end of the service. These wonderful folks will lift their highest and best and help you remember that for yourselves. And then we have our saying up here. The service is now ended, and our ministry of love continues. Then we're going to do our prayer for protection and have Charlie close us out with the peace song. All right. So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please stand.
Yeah, let's stand. Okay, and this is going to be a cappella, so we're going to hear everybody's voices. It'll be great. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Thank you. God bless.